Welcome into the 1-1 Broncos Breakdown, but it doesn't feel like Victory Monday today, right? Did anyone else wake up today and it didn't feel like the Broncos put up a huge, fantastic win on Sunday and everyone should be celebrating? No. So we are going to go through some overreactions because everyone's pretty hot-takey following two straight stinkers of games to start the NFL season. But first, I want to hit you guys with the latest injury news on the Broncos. So, Ian Rappaport keeping us up to date on Jerry Jeudy and Patrick Surtain, both with positive diagnosis early on at least. Patrick Surtain and Jerry Jeudy, Surtain with a shoulder, Jeudy with a shoulder/rib. Wasn't exactly crystal clear, but both guys are looking like they are day-to-day, which bodes well for hopefully them being able to play this Sunday against the 49ers. But that's that update on the front of Jeudy and Sutton, and what's been a very long list of injuries for the Broncos. Some notable players: Tim Patrick, of course, with the ACL during training camp. Jerry Jeudy now. KJ Hamler, he played week 1. Out of caution, they held him out of week 2. He's still working himself back from the ACL and hip injury early last season. Billy Turner, have not seen him play. He's been out with a knee injury. Quinn Meinerz with the hammy in week 1. Josey Jewell with the calf injury during practice before week 1. And now Surtain joins Justin Simmons in this banged-up secondary. And it's just been that kind of run for the Broncos, not just this year, for the last couple of seasons of the injury bug just will not go away. I'm out of ideas. I'm out of options. So I'm just hoping liking a video over YouTube will do whatever needs to be done to forgive whatever Indian burial ground the Broncos put a practice field on, because it feels like the world is against them at times with the nonstop injuries. So if you hate injuries, like the video. Let's get into some overreactions. Let's get a little hot takey and have a little fun here. First one up, fire Nathaniel Hackett. No, this is an overreaction. I'm not going to call you crazy for saying it. I think everyone yesterday was looking up, what's the earliest a head coach has ever been fired? Just asking for a friend here. In case you're wondering, it was the Rams firing a head coach in the preseason back in the 70s. But it is an overreaction. Now, Nathaniel Hackett has looked simply overwhelmed on the sideline. Things are getting away from him, it feels like. It's almost as if he's in over his head and he's bitten off more than he could chew. I didn't dislike this hiring back in March, February, whatever it was, but it does feel like for his first time as a head coach, he is a bit ahead of his skis. Now, it's only been 2 games, so he can rally the troops, and he's got a great locker room, right? He's not dealing with a very piss-poor talent room of players here. He can rally the troops. If he does, they're going to perform well, right? The talent's not the issue, and that's a good problem to have as a coach, where talent's not the problem. You can correct the minor details. Say 25 penalties in 2 weeks, a team record for any 2-week span. You had 12 penalties in week 1 on the road, and then you said, hold my beer. We're going to go home and have more. You thought it was fun in week 1? Watch the delay of games in front of our own fans who are going to help us out by mockingly count down the time of the play clock. I loved the countdown. I thought it was a good slap in the face, and the team kind of needed it. The Broncos, by the way, have been cheeks in the red zone. Not a touchdown to show for. Fumbles and field goals everywhere you look, but no touchdown. Here's where it comes to actually engaging in a conversation about firing Nathaniel Hackett. No, you're not pulling the plug on a head coach after just 2 games. You're not going to become the Jacksonville Jaguars who just fire coaches year in and year out. I understand he has not looked good. Okay, I'm not going to argue on that behalf. I'm going to argue on you don't pull the plug on a coach after 2 games. That's malpractice. Also, let's say you do go down that path, by the way. And I know a lot of people have been asking about Sean Payton, and we'll get to him in just a second. But first, you want to go down the path of firing Nathaniel Hackett. All right? Done. Now you got to look for an interim head coach. Likely going to be someone on his coaching staff who are all very young. I don't think it's going to be any better with Justin Outen as head coach when he's not doing a great job as OC. He's not calling the plays, but the offensive game plan in week 2 against the Texans, he can't control drops, but blame has to go around, right? Fingers have to be pointed here. So the idea of firing Hackett, I don't think it's a very good idea, at least after 2 games. Give him more time. I'm not saying it's going to improve, but I don't think there's a better path at this point, okay? Now, as for the idea of go hire Sean Payton, not that simple and easy. Sean Payton was not fired by the Saints. He resigned, which means they actually, like a player, still have the rights to Sean Payton. So if you want to get Sean Payton to Mile High, you have to go through New Orleans. You have to trade for Sean Payton from the Saints. It's been done before. Remember Bruce Arians? He retired from the Cardinals, and then he went to the Bucks. They actually traded him. Or like when Gronk, for example, retired from the Patriots, and then he went down to Tampa with Brady. That was a trade. It's not common. Now, what does a head coach go for who's retired? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. He's worth a first, which the Broncos don't have, but sometimes you see teams, say, hey, Sean, we're not going to hold you hostage in New Orleans as you retired. We'll just ask for a bag of footballs and like a money ball, fill up our vending machine, and we'll call it a day. Who's to say? You know what I'm saying? But no, Sean Payton, he's not walking through the door of Mile High at any moment. I'll tell you that right now. But here's my question for you guys. Do you think Nathaniel Hackett will hack it this season? Like, will he make it through this year? Will he be able to get an entire season under his belt? I think he will. I don't see a new ownership regime after 2 weeks. By the way, what a weird, odd collection of individuals in the owner's box. From Condoleezza Rice to the Walmart family. Like, that's just not a room you ever thought you'd see. But they're not going to tell, George Payton, he's not going to go and fire his new head coach after just 2 games. He wants to see his pick work out. All right. As for the upcoming schedule, in case you're wondering, hey, is it going to get any easier? Not really. I mean, the Niners at home, Sunday Night Football. Please don't embarrass us. That's all I can ask for. Do not put up another stinker, this time again on national television. Then, now I will also add, I don't think it's better that they have to face Jimmy Garoppolo versus Trey Lance. Personally, I would have rather have played Lance. Raiders, they're 0-2, so talk yourself into that one. Colts are 0-1-1, but they have looked like a very disappointing team thus far. Be glad you're not a Colts fan. At least the Broncos beat the Texans. Week 6 at the Chargers, that's going to be tough. Week 7, home against the Jets. They just pulled off a miracle win in Cleveland. It's not necessarily the big teeth of the schedule. You're not playing any Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allens. You do play a Herbert, but it's winnable games, but they're not cakewalks. So do with that what you will. All right, we are closing in on 10,000 subscribers here at the channel. Help us do that. If you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and click that button. I need 711 of you guys watching to do so. The analytics tell me it's out there. Be a part of Good Side of History here. Hit that big red button and subscribe. Next overreaction to get to is Russell Wilson past his peak. Did the Broncos trade for him 1 year too late? I think this is an overreaction. I don't think Russ is past his peak because of what we've seen from 2 games. Which, by the way, he has not been the problem in 2 games. He was off target on Sunday against the Texans. He missed a handful of throws. Handful of drops also didn't help him. But how different are we talking if Melvin Gordon or Javonte Williams don't fumble at the goal line and the Broncos win week 1? And there's not this hangover going into week 2. And they don't, stutter as much. And Jerry Jeudy and Surtain, sure, injuries happen, but they don't get hurt. I'm not out on Russell Wilson, and I don't think he is the problem. I do think he needs to improve his play. I'm not going to stand up here and be a part of Russ's entourage and defend him to the ends of the earth. I'll give him till the end of the month to look like the QB that the Broncos traded 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 3 players for, and another day 3 pick. So I'm going to give him another week or 2 to really look like Russell Wilson. He's had Russell Wilson throws. Eric Saubert caught one, and then again in week 1 against the Seahawks that was dropped. But now it's time to see it for all 4 quarters and put the football in the end zone when you're in the red zone, right? Or as Hackett calls it, the gold zone. Doesn't look like a gold zone to me, Hackett. Sorry, dude. Looks more like a dead zone to me. All right, today's sponsor, BetUS, has an awesome deal for Broncos Country. We've been telling you guys about them all season long. Don't miss out on this deal. They are going to give you a 125% deposit bonus. What does that mean? Let's say you put $100 in. They'll tack on an additional $125. I'm not going to stand up here and advertise to bet on the Broncos on Sunday Night Football. Maybe just go and bet on a different team. All right, my parlay hit last week. You can ride with me. Let me know what your picks are. But first, get started at chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Broncos125. Third and final overreaction. Randy Gregory. Was that an A-plus signing? Yes, not an overreaction. It indeed is. At least through 2 games so far, I am in on the Randy Gregory hype train. In fact, I will lay down on the train tracks as it barrels past me because I think he has looked like the defensive end they signed back in March. Through 2 games, he leads the NFL in forced fumbles, 2 altogether, 1 in week 1, 1 in week 2. He's got a sack, 4 tackles, 1 for loss. It's a small sample size, but Randy Gregory has been consistent through 2 games. Whereas Chubb, not to, derail this conversation and pour salt on the wound over there, but he was awesome in week 1, kind of MIA in week 2. He's also only going to get healthier, Randy Gregory. He's still limited in practice, taking veteran days off. The guy got shoulder and knee surgery 2 months apart, January and March. As the season progresses and he gets healthier and he gets his complete footing back, hopefully, knock on wood, because we know how injuries have gone, this guy's only going to get better and better. All right, to send you guys on your way and enjoy the rest of whatever this Victory Monday is, what is your biggest problem with this team, right? Like, what does this team, this Broncos 2022 team, need to fix yesterday, right? Is it the coaching, the discipline, the play calling, or execution on the field? I'll let you guys be the coach and let me know in the comment section. I appreciate everyone that made the Broncos Breakdown a part of their day. Thank you so much for clicking on to today's show. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you guys later with more Broncos news and rumors.